Hey man, you watching Cold Red with the one and only big homie. My big homie, KB. It's up there and it's stuck here. Boom!
Hey, what up? We in Cold Red. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm your host, the Playmaker, and we got a very, very special guest in the building. My man, Trae G.
What's good, what's good?
Trae G, what's poppin', man?
Man, everything is everything, man.
Man, I'm glad to have you sitting on the couch with me today, man.
It's a pleasure, man. Trust me, it's a pleasure being here.
Man, I got some very in-depth questions for you.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's get right to it. So, Trae, every guest come on here, man, I like them to tell the people where they from. Where you originally from?
I mean, if I want to say originally from, we'll go back to Kankakee, Illinois, because that's where I'm originally from. But most of my life I've been spending in Milwaukee, so I claim Milwaukee more than anything, because a lot of my culture that I live by today came from Milwaukee. So really, Illinois, Wisconsin. I'm going to always claim both because I got to keep it real. I don't really want to pick a side, you know what I mean?
At what age did you come up here from Kankakee?
Well, I came here at the age, I would say in the 4th grade when I got here, so I don't know exactly what age I was at that time, but somewhere around the 4th grade. But I always migrated back home, though. Like, it's like, okay, I moved here, but every summer I went and stayed with my grandmama, where I'm originally from, you know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, so school year, Milwaukee, summers, Kankakee.
There you go.
Okay. So was life different from Milwaukee to Kankakee? Was it a big difference as you got older?
Well, I mean, as I got older, yeah, of course, things changed. When I was younger, Kankakee was more, gang infested at the time, so Milwaukee was more modest. It was a more modest city at the time. It wasn't really gang infested when we got here as much as it was when we started living here, over time.
So would you consider Milwaukee to be a sweet spot? Or maybe, let's not say a sweet spot, let's say a place where you can relax when you came?
Yeah, when I first came, really both of them I could relax. I was still a kid at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't living with the the issues that we live with today. So I was technically still a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was growing up really like? What was you into?
Man, into everything a bad kid was into. I got a twin brother, so living with him it was the bad twin and the good twin. We was both bad. At the end of the day, it was just the lesser of two evils, at the end of the day. So we got into everything. My cousins was into gang activity and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it was just something that, growing up as a kid, you just look at it and look up to. Like, my big cousin, them doing this and doing that. So you kind of gravitate toward that end of it somewhere around the way. And I don't mean like just because you're saying gang that you're doing something bad. It could just be your affiliation to something that you like. You might not necessarily be acting in anything, and that's what we was as kids growing up, so.
Okay. So you moved to Milwaukee, spent summers in Kankakee. Somehow you find your way into music, right? Mm-hmm. At what age did you find a love for music?
I mean, I would have to say in my early teens, because my oldest brother, always did music. So they had a group, and I was affiliated, of course, a part of that, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, always had a love for the music, the business side of it, and my love as a fan was just two different sides of the music, you know what I mean? They all interconnected ultimately, but they still came separately, you know what I'm saying?
So were you ever an artist?
I wasn't never an artist, but I always had a liking for underground artists, So like my brother was an underground artist, his friends was, and then being in that circle, you just get, you get introduced to underground artists that you become, you start having a liking for. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's how I got into the music for the most part. It's just through the artistry of it.
So you love the artistry of it. You was more intrigued by the business side of it. So
Absolutely.
what made you jump head first into it? What was the moment that you knew that, okay, I want to do this. Let me figure this out.
You mean like in terms of what I do now in music, or
Well, I think all the things that you did in the past led you up to where you are now.
right?
So that one moment, if you take it back, that one defining moment that set the stage for everything that's happening now.
I mean, I think all of the defining moments start and end with me ultimately feeling like I can accomplish my goal in music in whatever avenue I play, and that's just to get rich by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you gotta play a certain part in it somewhere, and me now, I know it's different avenues to get paid off of music, to get rich off of music, to help it expand and it grow at the same time and be able to contribute to it. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie like, oh, I just got the love for music and I want to see it flourish. No, I want to get paid off of it too. I want to treat it like a business as well. You know what I'm saying? But that defining moment that made me want to like go to the level I'm at now, it's just learning, like really trials and tribulations for the most part, things you learn, you grow to learn throughout music. And then like learning the business side. When I learned the business side, it actually kind of helped me to really have a love for the music, because now I know what I can do. I know I can make money off of it now. You know what I mean? I know what I can do to help other people grow as well from it. So, yeah.
Okay. You've been a part of some big situations, playing the background, being a team player. I remember you from the Q days, the 106 in Park, seeing you on the road, um, going state to state with him. What was that like?
Amazing. I mean, I feel like I got to do a lot of what a lot of people in my city didn't do, which is, just experience the thrill of the music. The music side that a lot of people don't be able to see. Um, it taught me a lot of the business side of what I know and I use today. From what I experienced with dealing with Q. You know what I mean? From the performance side of me being his hype man for a short stint to the business aspect of it. Me seeing what management does, me seeing what marketing does for artists, me seeing what promotion does for artists. Is you learn those different aspects and you like, wait, if I got all of these talents or all of these experiences, I can use them in what I want to try, what I'm doing ultimately, which is management. Or whatever field I go into, I feel like I would have a better edge on it because I've been there dealing with Q, and yeah, I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, you had a lot of big things going with Q. So you spoke about the thrill. So you meet an artist like Q, y'all start doing big things. The thrill is ultimately there. The money is almost second nature because of the high that you on with the experience that you do, the things that you doing.
Facts.
So once the thrill is gone, right? After you done hit the BETs, you done saw everything behind the scenes, the 106 in Parks and all that. Are you still in the mode now to to be in the business or just a part of the business?
But honestly, I feel like the thrill is never gone because the thrill is a psychological thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not, what we can do physically for whatever period of time. Is whatever you determine in your head is just like your success, right? My success might not be your success, your level of it, but we might describe it different, you know what I mean? So my thrill is just knowing that when I wake up, this is what I do. Like, I do it because, like, you know, some people are painters, right? So they wake up every day and they just want to paint. They don't care about who else don't care about painting. That's just me when it comes to music. Like, that's my field of expertise. It's my field of familiar rarity. Like, I know I'm familiar with that industry. This is what I like to do. I like what I get from it. You know, I like the people I meet. I like the environments that I'm in. And that's my thrill. You know what I mean? It's just knowing that I can live that, what I want to do, eat off of it and everything else all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And that don't run out. That don't have an expiration date. You know, it's all on what you feel that thrill, when that thrill should be over. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's always a new experience.
It's always a new experience. They don't get, it don't get old. You just add new stuff to it. That's it.
Okay. Have there ever been a point in time where you was discouraged with the music? Like probably in your early stages?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always discouraged with the music because at the end of the day, if it don't discourage you, then I feel like you're not dreaming big enough. It's some more, so like the quote, but it's like the real thing. So it discourages you when things don't go your way, right? But I always look at cause and effect. So a lot of things that can cause whatever your misfortunes is, I feel like some of that you can contribute to. So, but at the end of the day, it's just like I don't really trip on it though. You know, I just try and figure out a new situation. Just keep on moving.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Can I ask you a question?
absolutely.
What does the name Dismaster mean to you?
I mean, Dismaster was just, you know, he was in most cases, he didn't really mean as much to me as people made him. But over time, it was like, okay, I feel like he got meaning. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Dismaster could serve a purpose. But what it means to me is, you know, a lot of shit that it got me into. You know what I'm saying? Being Dismaster.
So it started off as a moment in time, maybe just to have some fun.
Yeah.
And then it grew into an alter ego.
Yeah.
Not by choice though.
What the thing I'm gonna say, it was by choice because it's not like I accidentally did something. I purposely created Dismaster.
But you didn't, the outcome.
Yeah, the outcome, absolutely. Yeah, the outcome.
It grew into something that you couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, I didn't think it would get as big as it is, but it's like what they say, controversy sells. I feel like Dismaster was real controversial, and I feel like when people tell the truth, a lot of the times that's controversy because if you and I feel a certain, I'm just speaking hypothetically, but I'm just saying if you and I feel a certain way about something, sometimes it's not easy for another person to take your opinion, your opinion that's against them in that light. So they'll create controversy around it. That's controversial. And it leads to consequences when you can get enough people to agree with it. And now it's gonna blow up to where everybody want to speak on it, whether they really believe in that or not. They just gonna speak on it just to try and make a point, and that's what make it bigger. But it was really never meant to be that though. It was just that's all I can say.
Do you think that people misjudged you by the actions of Dismaster?
They were supposed to. They were supposed to. They were supposed to think every single way that they was, but they also was supposed to think, I think, non-biased and logical as well. Like this is what I always say, it's two sides. Like you have to still be realistic at the end of the day. I'm not saying if you an artist and I'm telling you that your music is trash, right? But I'm still giving you enough criticism to tell you why I feel like I'm just not just saying all your music trash, right? And just leaving it at that. I'm giving you these key points of why I feel like this song won't work, but you still looking at it like I'm hating. So when you call me a hater, then what am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they was actually talking about the Dismaster. They weren't talking about Trae G.
Regardless, the Dismaster could be, I mean, of course, it's not a real person, but if I was a real person, right, and said my name was Dismaster, would you feel the same way?
I wouldn't, because I know that the Dismaster. See, I know Trae G, right? And then I knew the Dismaster, right?
Right.
So for me to personally know you.
But see, this was the problem, okay? So when I first started speaking my mind, right? I spoke my mind as Trae G originally, literally. And then I started getting all this controversy. So I didn't even create the name Dismaster. My friend did. He said, well, why don't you make a dude name called Dismaster? And I'm like, Dismaster? He was like, yeah, man, since everybody already on your ass about you saying that they music trash, create Dismaster, and they don't even gotta know it's coming from you. You just create a fake social media page, you put the little mask on, and everybody can say what they want to, but at least you can say what you want to without people just coming directly at you about it. So that's why I even created Dismaster, you know?
Well, how did that work out for you?
I mean, it worked out pretty good, I think, because this the reason why. Everything Dismaster said, almost everything came true. Like, he didn't say nothing that was wrong. Most of the rappers who literally was rapping at that time that thought they was the hottest rappers in Milwaukee, where is they at right now? Like, you can't name one of them that's still around right now rapping. Literally, like, making no noise. So that's why I did that.
Well,
that's why I say that.
I was talking more or less about, because it was crazy that it had grew so big that, like, radio stations like Homer Blow was reporting it, and
right.
everybody was trying to find out who was Dismaster. They spotted him here, they spotted him
there. But
if
they knew I was Dismaster right out the gate, it would have never got that big, I don't think.
It wouldn't have.
You know, it wouldn't have got that big because they would have knew directly who to come and attack about it.
Okay, so once they found out you was Dismaster, you moved on from that. But do you think the stigma of him still haunts you, because you could put a simple post on Instagram and it'll be taken the wrong way?
I think so. I think that is though. I feel like even to this day, it put a stigma on me. I feel like it turned a lot of the people in the city away from me just because of that. Because I feel like it kind of disrupted careers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people feel a certain type of way, and then when they see that, you know, you still out here moving and, you know, doing what you need to do, it's even worse because people expected me to fail because of that. You know what I'm saying? When you feel like the whole city just turned their whole back on the person, it's like, shit, ain't nobody fucking with dude no more. But then when you see then it's like, oh, like, yeah, I would be mad at that too. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but I still try to build relationships because at the end of the day, this how I always told people, regardless of how they felt about me, right? Is that I still got love for you, bro. It's not no beef with me and you. It might be beef with you and me, but it's no beef. Like, why would I beef with people that I don't even know? Like, a lot of these artists and stuff, I don't even know them. So why am I mad at you? I'm not. Like, I could see you tomorrow and it could be like we never had even no words about nothing. But if that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just, I know people still feel a certain type of way. So I don't move like that, but at the end of the day, bro, I love the city of Milwaukee, bro. I love the artists. I love what we doing here. I've been loving that. I did what I did as Dismaster because I really cared about the city of Milwaukee. So I didn't do it under false pretenses. I didn't just take anybody's music and say, you garbage. You know what I'm saying? It's just how I felt. That's my personal opinion really about how I feel about something. You know what I mean? And I feel like that should be respected the same way you know, you might say your music hot. If I come and be like, no, it ain't, then what the hell, like, what kind of sense do that make? You know what I mean? So just because I say this ain't that, don't mean we got to beef about it. It don't mean we got to fight about it. Like, it ain't that type of party, bro. It ain't even that, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to sugarcoat everything. I can't tell you the way you want to be told that your music, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say it the way I want to say it. But I still mean no disrespect, though. That's it.
A lot of things you said, I agree. And a lot of things you say, I can agree to disagree.
Okay.
Right? Because they can't deny the work that you put in. They can't deny that the list of artists and the talent that you done developed, right? Even outside of the Dismaster thing, Trae G, the exec, has done some amazing things, right? So we move on from the Dismaster. Now you totally focused on the music, finding artists, building artists, making a name for yourself. What's been the hardest challenge for you thus far?
I mean, the hardest challenge is, just always, I mean, it's a combination of things, that become challenges even the more you grow as an artist, because everything is bigger now, bigger budgets, bigger, bigger plugs that you need, bigger resources. So, the combination of everything that you try to put together, it's a day-to-day task. And I don't know, I guess, one of the main challenges is always, finances. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things deal with finances that you really need, that can kind of slow you down or hinder you, and it's just networking, man, and just getting in those right rooms. You know what I'm saying? So, we doing it. I feel like we moving. It's like a slow drip. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the reason why it doesn't really bother me. Like, if I felt like we were stagnant, then it would be like, man, more of a pressure thing. I don't feel pressure because I feel like it's a slow drip. Is in the drips that I feel dropping is the right ones. From what I see, when I look at results, when I look at analytics still, overall analytics, streaming analytics, like overall, she doing good. You know what I mean? Like, my artist is doing good, so it's just keeping that push. Hopefully we can do something big where we don't have to sign a big major deal. We don't have to really go into nothing and just stay independent and keep doing what we're doing. But, those are big challenges, though.
But you actually come from a different time in music business, because the era you come from, you actually had to fly out to meet people.
Yeah.
You actually had to go where they was at to get in their face. It wasn't as simple as today, to where you can just hop in somebody's inbox.
Literally.
Right? How do you mix what you known back then to where you at now to make it like a complete circle?
Well, I mean, man, it's a series of things that happen, man. A lot of it is you just like me, like I just try to meet the right people, right? So when I do that and I need these resources that I need, a lot of it can happen over the internet because you dialed in. Some of it you don't necessarily got to go sit in people's faces like how we used to do in the past. We didn't have those resources where it was live streaming from phone to phone and all that. You know what I mean? We didn't have them resources that is plentiful back then. So at the end of the day, using that combination helps, but I'm always willing to go sit down in somebody's face if that's the requirement or that's what they need us to do. You know what I'm saying? I think that when you combine it with the internet is a good way to be able to at least reach out, because to be honest with you, man, back in the day, you had to know somebody who knew somebody, bro. It wasn't you wasn't pushing no buttons and you wasn't going to nobody inbox and none of that. You had to know somebody who knew somebody, or you literally had to go stand outside the record labels damn near with a sign holding up saying, sign me. You know what I mean? Like, you had to put in the footwork, like really go out on the streets handing out flyers and CDs and stuff. It's not like that no more. So You know, you still combine those two, man, but with understanding that it's two sides of the marketing coin, and that's the internet coin, and that's the street grind coin. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people really just try to sit at home and do it on the internet because it's, you know, a lot of times it's free and all that, but when you go hand to hand, that's your real crowd, though. That's your them the real people that really appreciate you. And now a lot of executives, they like to meet hand to hand because it's just so much internet games going on. You know, executives like to come out and look at your live shows. They don't want you. They don't care about you sending them videos and none of that no more. So they like to meet people. It puts the name with the face and the character and everything.
Okay. Was there ever a time where the internet kind of sucked you in to where you thought that the internet was the end all be all, because you come from the street team days too, right?
Yeah.
Was it ever a time that you thought about, or a moment in this whole journey where you would put the street team grind on the shelf just to focus on the internet?
Me personally, I feel like it's funny you say that because you say when, which is I feel like kind of right now. You know what I mean? Like shit, the internet is really taking over right now because you got outlets like TikTok and Instagram that's making stars. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people was like, shit, when I'm finna put money behind physical marketing tools for to get out here in the streets when I can just go online and I can just pay physical marketing companies. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the difference between something put in the microwave and something put in the oven.
Right, but you think about this, right? Nowadays, these kids don't care about that. See, the thing is where I feel like we get lost is because of the fact that, like, from my generation of people who came up in music, we care more about the art, right? Nowadays, people care more about the money. So it don't even matter about the talent, right? That's why you get the artists that you get that's really not as talented, but they still more viral than a talented artist is because it is the microwave era. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is that it's like a hip hopper, right? I always say a hip hopper should adjust to the times, but a hip hopper in their mind is like, no, I'm never gonna change. I'm never gonna change. But it's not changing. It's just evolving. It's like upgrading the style, maybe the style that you rap in, or just it's changing with the times. Like you know, do you want to live in a like it's like everybody want to live in a modern house, or you want to live in an older model, like everybody want new lights and all that, right? Or most people not gonna go to this old house where you still got chandeliers hanging and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. Like, why would you want your house to stay the same? Upgrade it. Upgrade your artistry as well. It's not changing it. And people always look at it like, I'm not changing it. I ain't saying change it like the bubblegum rappers and shit like that, but maybe figure out a new way to speak to your audience. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I say maybe your audience is more dumbed down. You know what I'm saying? Even your older people is more dumbed down because of it's not just music they're listening to, it's TV they watching. It's everything else that's in between that's dumbed down. So everybody's brain is like that. So to get on their level, do what you have to do to level it out. You could change it, but you don't gotta just say I don't want to change. And that's where I feel like a lot of people was at with that. I'm not. I don't want to do that. I want to understand this side. I want to understand that side.
Okay. So if you had to put a percentage on it, right? How much time would you dedicate to the internet versus the hand-to-hand street team work?
Really, I don't do how much. I feel like I do spend more time on the internet, right? Because it's readily available, you know. But I do get out in the field, though, and I do other things that a lot of people don't do nowadays, like stickers on gas pumps and flyers in gas stations. I still do all of the leg work as well because I know how important that is.
So you agree that it's necessary?
It's always necessary.
So street teaming is never going anywhere.
It shouldn't go anywhere. That's the whole thing because you got to think you're attacking two different markets of people. Like these people that's going to these gas stations in these underprivileged neighborhoods. A lot of these people ain't got internet. They don't be on the internet all day. They go in the gas stations and shit like that. They stream the streets. They might see a flyer sitting on the ground. They don't got to stream the internet to find that. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, they not going to look at it. They going to look over it because they looking specifically for what they want on the internet, right? So that's the difference, is you still attacking two different markets. I'm not saying that, yeah, if you stronger in this market because it's free right now, don't go over to this one. You still have to invest what you get from this one, or whatever you get from whatever, to this market, because that's a whole different market, man. And this market, these is equally important, but this one is probably better because this is the organic market. You know what I mean?
So how do you explain that to an artist?
It's hard to explain to an artist because in order for artists to understand it, they have to first learn the business. The problem with artists not understanding little simple tactics like that is because they don't understand the business. And to understand that, what you have to do is show an artist how they make money, right? If you show artists how they make money, you show them where that actual money coming from and what they made it off of and shit like that, some artists get more interested in it. But if they just see the money just hit their account and shit, and they don't really know where it came from, how they made it, and what strategies they can do to push more songs through this outlet to push their streams, they'll never know. It's really just artists understanding the basic principles of music, right? Every artist going into like, oh, I just want to be an artist. I want it to. Now in 2025, you can't just be an artist. You have to be everything, bro. And if you don't gotta be everything, be something more than an artist. But you gotta be business-wise, because you're dealing with your money and you leaving a lot of money on the table when you play with people who gotta be responsible for getting your money. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Okay. So, Trae, what does your dream artist look like, and have you found that in Destinee Lynn?
Oh yeah, I've been found that in Destinee Lynn. She a dream artist because of consistency. You know, at the end of the day, one thing that I look for in an artist is consistency. I don't care about you making 1 or 2 hit songs. How many songs can you make back to back to back that I can really be like, everybody gonna relate to this? You know, and Destinee not only proved it with songs, but with albums back to back. And most people can't do that. They can't even create a single album, let alone write it by themselves, you know what I'm saying, co-produce it and everything. Like, she did that in multiple times. You know what I'm saying? You can look at the level of artistry from each album and you will see the growth in each one. Now, I'm not saying no other artists can't do that. I'm just saying I haven't found one yet. You know, I haven't heard it from mainstream to underground. I've heard some dope ass artists, whether they male or female, but none who have a consistent track record of song after song after song. If you listen to it, it's not just a song, it's a storyline, it's a concept behind it. It's a like you listening to it and you can close your eyes and visualize what you see, what she's saying. That's what I'm talking about, like artistry wise. She got songs that can make you dance, songs that can make you cry, songs that it's a variety. And when I look at a dream artist, I look for that talent. She just need the opportunity to show it on a bigger platform. You know what I mean? And then that way it'll be more like a, what the hell is this? Where she come from type of thing. Where this style come from? You know what I mean? So
I agree. Most people say that it's difficult managing a female artist, but you found a way to debunk that theory. How did you manage to do that? What is the secret recipe in that, or would you ever disclose it?
For me, I couldn't disclose it because that's something I don't analyze, right? It happened, but I can tell you the experience of when I look back on how it became successful is, for me, always keeping it business with my artists. You know what I'm saying? 100%, because being a female artist, you know how men, because sometimes like you go out with a chick and y'all getting drunk and now, you know, all of your inner thoughts coming out. And some CEOs or some managers don't know how to hold that inner thought in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have had a million inner thoughts about having sex with Destinee Lynn, but she'd never know about it because I would never display that to her. I would never look at her with googly eyes or none of that shit to make her think that way. You know what I'm saying? And so I also feel like she really contributed to it as well because she made me think as a man. When we first started talking about the whole management thing, she was saying that, you know, what happened with prior people who she dealt with. And you know, the fact that they wasn't being professional about things, right? So it made me think as a man, like this is something I probably would have never thought of had she not said that. You know what I'm saying? But it just made me think, okay, and I told her and I promised her, well, we gonna always keep it business. You know what I'm saying? You'll never have to worry about that, about nothing like that coming from me. You know, and that's where we at even today.
So do you think that's where most artists and managers go wrong at, that they develop personal feelings and not keeping the business?
Absolutely. A lot of times it do. I even think when females are managing females, you know, it's more of more of a, I would say, with females, it become not even like, especially if they not, you know, into the whole girl thing, it becomes more of a, you know, I don't even know how to explain it with the females, but the men, I think just with men and girls, period, bro, it's just a habit, man. You find you a fine ass female artist, and sometimes it's just a man's nature to just make that comment that just shouldn't have been made. You know what I'm saying? Anything like that. And I have seen it, man. I have seen people, managers do it. I've seen CEOs do it. I've seen girls laugh at it, like you know what I'm saying. But I mean, if that's what they do, that's what they do. But at the end of the day, um, I feel like I didn't want to do that with Destinee. I just wanted to keep it professional.
So what's next for Trae G? What's the defining moment? What's the end game?
I don't think it's ever no end game, man. It's always going. It's always a going, bro. I don't think it should ever be an end game, right? Because you always gotta see. This is the thing about generational wealth. Is generational wealth don't end. It's steady go, right? So what I'm building here is for my generational wealth. It's, you know, at the end of the day, whatever I want to be in life is where I want to create enough wealth to be able to pass on to other people. So my end game don't exist. The game that I'm in right now is just where I want to do is just I want to be a successful artist manager. At the end of the day, whatever success is to your head, that's what I want to be. I want to be successful, the success that I want, right?
Well, you are successful already. You've accomplished a lot of things that people can only dream of. You've been in rooms that people probably would never be able to go behind. So, do you measure that as a form of success for you?
Yeah, I do, but not that. I don't feel like it's the height of my success. The height of my success, I feel, is being in the history books that you can't erase me from. You know what I mean? Until you see me in those, I'm not at the height of my success, and I don't care about making it to that height, right? I care about the success that I'm at right now. If anything happened to me where I pass right tomorrow, I feel like I made it successful enough coming from where I came from, right? To make it to where I'm at, right? So, it's not like, oh, if I'm not in the history books, I'm not gonna be successful. I feel like you're right. I am successful, but just not the height and the level that I really want to be at. Because I know when I am in those books, that I brought a lot of more people with me. You know what I'm saying? Particularly the person who I was sponsoring the most, which is my artist. You know what I'm saying? That's my ultimate goal is to make their situation successful enough to make my situation successful.
I guess you kind of basing your or that thought on the rooms you've been in, the people you've met. See, you've been behind the curtain, right?
Yeah.
But if you had never been behind that curtain to know what's there, would you still have that frame of thought? Would you appreciate the success that you got now and say, man, I made it?
Well, I think that that's a hypothetical and is one that can't even be answered because I wouldn't know that. You know what I'm saying? I could say that it's a possibility that I wouldn't because you really only go off of things that you experience for the most part. You know, you could read anything in a book, but until you experience that, then you don't really know what it is.
Well, you've experienced the height of this shit,
Yeah,
and you've experienced the lows of this shit. You know what that feel like.
right. Absolutely.
I have watched you go through it.
Absolutely.
So what you saying is a hypothetical has been a part of your reality.
Right. But I mean, as far as me going back to say what I have learned that today, I wouldn't know that. You know what I
I said,
mean?
would you still appreciate your success,
I
your
feel like
level
I
of
feel like
success?
yeah, okay, well in that terms, yeah, right? Because even before the music, my appreciation for things started as a child, right? It started being I was being raised to learn how to appreciate things. You know, my mama always said, say thank you when people give you stuff, say excuse me when you passing people. So it's you learn the appreciation before you even have a love for what you want to do in life. You know, so I don't think that, you know, the music made me start appreciating anything or what I get from the music. I've been appreciating stuff since I was a kid. So I'm always, any level of anything I get, right, more than what I got, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I always been.
No doubt. So how could the people catch up with you if they're interested in artist management, if they're interested in consulting, if they're interested in just getting more information? How can they get with you?
The crazy thing is that I feel like I'm a ghost out here. I don't even really have a social media that I care for people to tap into because I feel like this, as an artist, if you, I feel like as an artist, right? If you doing what you're supposed to do as an artist, a manager will reach out to you, right? I wouldn't give my contact and say reach me for management because then you'll get all these people who not really ready for management. And every artist not ready for management. You know what I'm saying? So I like to be more of a ghost in the music and just, you know, my artists is out there, you know, if you want to reach out to them, try and find me through them or whatever the case, cool. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really advertise what I do to people. It's just like, let me find you. Let me know about, I'll find you. I'm always around everywhere searching the internet and I run across people through people. So just let me find you. And then that way it becomes more authentic because if you come to me, it's more of a business transaction. You know what I'm saying? You coming at me, you want to ask me about management. Well, now that's a business transaction. But if I come to you and genuinely say, hey, look, I like your music. I feel like I can help you grow and I can get you here or there, then that's more of a mutual, authentic transaction right there because I'm coming to you based off something that I like and I see, not based off something you can give me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different way, and I think that's a lot of executives operate the same way. They don't want to be tracked. Let me find you. You know, and that's just the way that I am. I think that it works better in the artist's favor, and I'm looking out for their best interests as well as my own. Like, I don't want to be that person that just like try and get over on artists because it's a lot of people that will.
No doubt. Well, man, this conversation has been very, very in depth. And I want to thank you, man, for coming on the platform,
Thank you for
sitting on the
having me.
couch with me, man. Again, this is Cold Red. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm the playmaker, and this is the manager extraordinaire, Trae G. And we out.
Peace.